You don't realize you're being watched until the moment it's already too late. Sometimes it's not the dark alley or the abandoned house you should be afraid of. Sometimes it's the open road, because out there are no walls, no barriers, no place to hide, just miles of empty space and the quiet possibility that someone else is out there with you, watching, waiting. I'm Adrian Vale. Before we get into today's story, just a quick note. If you've ever experienced something strange, unsettling, or completely unexplainable, you can send your story to me by email. Some of the most disturbing cases I cover come directly from people like you. And tonight, we're talking about the road, not as freedom, but as a hunting ground. You think the road is safe because it's open, but openness isn't safety, it's exposure. Most people see the highway as a path forward, something that connects where they are to where they want to be. But sometimes the road doesn't take you somewhere. Sometimes it brings something straight to you. Jake told me that before they even left campus, something already felt off. Not fear exactly, just a quiet, creeping feeling that something wasn't right, like being watched without ever seeing who was watching. The California coast was bright that day, sunlight stretching across the ocean, washing away every shadow. At places like University of California, Los Angeles and University of California, Berkeley, there's a tradition of massive all-day parties, and for them it was Deltopia, senior year, one last chance to lose themselves in something chaotic and unforgettable. 5 of them squeezed into a car for the drive. The space felt tight, the air thick, the kind of discomfort you laugh off at first, but slowly starts to wear on you. About halfway through the trip, Jake noticed something strange. A car behind them. Nothing unusual at first, except it stayed there too long. Every time they changed lanes, it adjusted. Not aggressively, just enough to stay present. No one said anything at first. It felt stupid to bring it up. Paranoid even, but the feeling stayed, quiet, persistent. When they finally arrived, the energy of the party swallowed everything. Music, crowds, voices blending into a constant roar. For a while, the feeling disappeared, or maybe it just got buried under the noise. They found parking, secured a place to crash, and for a brief moment, everything felt perfect. Too perfect. That's when they saw him, standing near the curb, watching them. Amir, the kind of person who didn't just enter your life, he inserted himself into it. No one invited him, no one told him where they were, yet there he was, smiling like he had been waiting for them. Something about the way he looked at them felt wrong, not angry, not aggressive, just fixed, like he had already decided something they didn't understand yet. At the apartment, Amir didn't ask to come in. He simply walked past the host and declared he was staying. The tension built quickly. Voices rose. The atmosphere shifted. Eventually, they forced him out, pushing him back into the chaos outside. They thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. Later that night, one of them checked something that changed everything. A shared location. A small detail they had forgotten about. Amir hadn't found them by chance. He had followed them. Every mile. Every turn. The realization didn't hit all at once. It crept in slowly, like cold water seeping through cracks. Someone had been watching them long before they ever arrived. The next day, the party continued, but something had changed. The noise felt different. The crowds felt heavier. Jake kept scanning faces without meaning to, searching for something he couldn't quite define. Then someone opened their phone again, checked the location, and froze. The blue dot was right there, on top of them. For a second, no one spoke. Then someone said Amir's name out loud, and the dot moved. Fast. Like whoever was watching had just realized they'd been seen. That night, the atmosphere inside the apartment felt suffocating. The noise from outside had faded, replaced by a strange, heavy silence. Jake lay awake longer than usual, staring into the dark, listening to the small, meaningless sounds that suddenly didn't feel meaningless anymore. Then it happened. A sharp crack. Glass. Not loud, but wrong. He sat up slowly, heart pounding in a rhythm that felt too loud for the silence around him. The air felt different, tighter, like something had entered the space without permission. He grabbed the closest thing he could find, an empty wine bottle, and moved carefully through the apartment. Every step felt amplified. Every shadow felt deeper than it should have been. That's when he saw it. The closet. The door wasn't fully closed, and the handle was moving. Not shaking, not forced, just slowly, deliberately turning. Jake froze. There was someone behind that door. Not guessing, not imagining. Someone was there, waiting, breathing. He stepped closer, raising the bottle slightly. Every instinct told him to open it, to confront whatever was inside. But something else, something deeper, told him not to. So he backed away, slowly, quietly. When he returned with the others, the closet was empty. But inside, resting on the floor, was a large kitchen knife. And in that moment, the truth became unavoidable. Amir hadn't left. He had been there the entire time, waiting. And they had come closer to something irreversible than they would ever fully understand. But sometimes the danger doesn't hide. Sometimes it stands right in front of you and pretends to be something you trust. Years earlier, on a quiet highway near San Angelo, Texas, 3 friends were driving through the night when they noticed a vehicle behind them, a black Tahoe. It didn't pass. It didn't fall back. It stayed, watching. The road was empty, no lights, no traffic, just the steady hum of the engine and the growing awareness that something wasn't right. They changed lanes. The Tahoe followed. Again, same result. Then the lights came on. It looked like a routine stop. It should have felt normal, but it didn't. The man who stepped out wasn't dressed like a standard officer. Everything about him felt off, like a detail slightly out of place that your brain can't ignore. He didn't approach immediately. He stood back, observing, studying, calculating. Then he moved forward, slowly, calmly, too calmly. 2 more men stepped out behind him. Now there were 3. Inside the car, the air turned heavy. No one moved. No one spoke. The question he asked seemed simple, almost casual, but when the answer came back, when he realized they were military, everything changed. The tension snapped. He handed back the license, told them to leave, just like that. A week later, the truth surfaced. A couple had been found murdered nearby, robbed, executed. The vehicle connected to the crime, a black Tahoe. They weren't officers. They were hunters. And that night, the only reason those three survived was because they weren't worth the risk. The road doesn't just take your life. Sometimes it takes everything you are. Years later, a man driving alone across state lines found himself stranded on an empty stretch of highway. No signal, no help, just silence. Then a truck pulled over behind him. A man stepped out, offering help. Calm, friendly, familiar in a way that made it easier to trust him. For a moment, everything felt okay again. Too okay. When the gun appeared, it didn't feel sudden. It felt inevitable, like something that had been building long before that moment. The robbery was quick, efficient, but it didn't end there. Months later, the real damage began. New accounts, new deaths, new identities. Someone else was living his life, and he couldn't stop it. Until he did. Through patience, through obsession, through tracking every detail, every transaction, every mistake the other man made. When the trap finally closed, it revealed something far worse than a single criminal. It was a network, organized, coordinated, hunting the road. Different places, different people, different outcomes, but the pattern remains the same. They watch, they wait, they follow, and when the moment is right, they act. The road is open, yes, but that openness comes at a cost. Because out there, you don't know who's watching you, or how long they've been waiting.